This video is going to show you how to do a perfect duck dive on a surfboard. 3 easy steps to get under the waves fast and efficiently. When you get this right, you'll be able to get out past the break faster, but you'll do it by using less energy, so you have more energy to catch waves. So if this is your first time to this channel, all we do here is help surfers catch more waves and catch better waves with at-home training systems. If you like free videos on how to surf better, the easiest and best way for you to support us is to hit like and subscribe. Now into the training.
All right, this is the duck diving technique. 3 steps, the 3 stages you need to know in order to get under a wave effectively. Super important to get the technique right. Doing the proper technique takes energy, but it takes way less energy than messing up a duck dive. So just as an example, let's say it takes 1 unit of energy to effectively get your board under the wave. If you do it wrong and you half-ass it and you get knocked off your board, it takes you probably 10 units of energy, 10 times the amount of energy to get back on your board, get knocked back farther down towards the beach, and then have to do more duck dives. So doing this effectively uses probably 1/10 the amount of energy. So it's all about being efficient with your energy. So you can get out past the break faster, and once you're past the break, you can rest. So it's super important to do this right and do it effectively. So step 1, I call it the sinker. So it's getting your board as deep as possible. So to do this, step 1, elbows are locked. So the very first thing you do is you lock your elbows, put your foot on the pad, but the knee is bent, and you put all your weight forward. So your weight is forward, pushing your hands down to get your board as deep as possible. Now, so getting as deep as possible means don't let the board come back up. So you sink it, and then you do this next step right at the bottom of the sink. So if you sink it and it starts to come up, and then you start the rest of your duck dive, you've lost it. You're not going to have the flow, you're not going to get the depth, and you're not going to be able to get under the wave as effectively. So a sinker, remember, weight forward, all you do is getting the board as low as possible. On a smaller wave, you can do this quicker, like you can wait until the white water is a little bit closer to you, but if it's a bigger wave and you have to get deeper underneath, you got to start a lot longer and sink it a lot deeper. So that's important to know. Step 1 is called the scissor. Now this is a really, really important part. So your foot on the tail pad, elbows are still locked. So you're still holding the board out in front of you, but then your foot that's on the pad pushes down. Look, his knee is straight and his toes right there are pointed. So he's getting the tail under as quickly as possible. This is something that most people, I think, don't get right. They know how to sink their board, but they don't know how to sink the tail. Because you think about it, if you only sink the nose and your tail is sticking up, that energy, the wave is going to hit that, and that'll either knock you off your board, or that turbulence is going to hit your board, it's going to throw you off. It'll totally mess you up. So it won't be efficient, and you won't get past the energy of the wave. The energy of the wave is going to hit your board. So super important to sink the tail as effectively. It takes a lot of strength, but so the opposite foot goes out of the water. You can see his other foot here sticking up out of the water. That gives so much more momentum, right? So you're like splitting your legs. It's like the scissors, right? So you push your board down, other foot goes up. You'll notice when you see really good surfers getting out past the break, that's the one thing you see, right? You see their one foot going up right before they get under the wave. So that's really critical. Really important to notice here, the flexibility. That's like an extreme downward dog with the foot up. So it's important to know the technique, but you got to have the body that can perform the technique. So flexibility is critical here to get to do the scissor effectively. Number 3, and this one is kind of the easy part once you do those things right. I call it the missile. I used to call it the meat missile, but it sounds funny. So then elbows bend, pull the board towards you, chest comes on the board. This part's important. Legs together, toes pointed, because you want to be like a missile, right? You want to be as close to your board as possible. Make yourself small like a little torpedo, so you just float through. Another way you can do it is you can like push your board forward and it'll pull you up through the backside of the wave. Important part about this when we're talking about being efficient with our energy. So you're close to your board and then you pop up, you're already in your paddle position. You don't have to readjust. You're just like, it's so efficient with your energy. Compared to say a turtle roll where you're off your board and you got to climb back on, this is just like the most efficient use of energy. And so the missile is critical. So close to your board, so toes pointed, legs together, and that's pretty much it. Now, I mentioned earlier that you got to know the right technique, which is these 3 steps. But if you don't have the body that's able to perform the technique, all the knowledge doesn't matter. You got to have the strength and the flexibility. So now we're going to go onto the floor and I'm going to show you a little bit of work that can help you get the flexibility and the strength, but also a couple tips on the timing to make sure you're doing it right, depending on the wave size and all that stuff. So let's go to the floor right now.
All right, for this, it's super hard to demonstrate. Obviously, we're not in the water, so it's really awkward, but I'll explain a few finer points when it comes to the timing of it, and then I'll show you a little workout and stretch that can help build the muscles and the flexibility to do a really good pop or duck dive. So when it comes to timing, if it's a smaller wave, so when the whitewater is crashing over the freshwater, the turbulence won't be as deep underwater, so you don't have to get as deep, so you can wait longer till the whitewater's almost on top of you before you dive, and you don't got to get as deep. So it's a lot faster, and I like to do it like this. So it's like you're paddling, and right before it gets to you, I push down, so the water comes up to about here, so my head's still up, and then just before it's time to go under, I do the scissor, and head goes under. And then I push a little bit more to get the board down, so board and tail go down, and then head goes under. When it's a lot more white water, you gotta start farther back, and you gotta get deeper. So you gotta, almost like, depending on the size of the wave, it varies a ton, but, so you start farther away, so you have more time to get deeper, then you sink it a lot, so you paddle, what, things far away, so you sink it deeper, and then you get head underwater. So if you look at the photo example I used just a second ago, the guy's head's right underwater when he's doing the sinker, right? So before the scissor, so you sink your head all the way under when you're probably a meter or more before the whitewater gets to you, and then you do the scissor. So it's a lot longer. The key point here is it's a lot longer on the sinker. So you're sinking, head underwater, and then, so you're already underwater, head under the water before the wave gets to you, and then you do the scissor. So for the scissor, obviously takes flexibility, so you just demonstrate that pretty much exactly. And then for the push, that takes a lot of strength too. I recommend using your dominant foot to push downward. So place your dominant foot on the pad, whether it's right or left. And so this workout couldn't be more simple. I'll show you this. So it starts like a downward dog. So it's downward dog position. You do what's called going under the fence. So it's down, and then up, like you're sneaking underneath the fence, and you go back to downward dog, and then leg goes up. But you gotta do both sides, you can't just stretch one side. So a good downward dog, under the fence, and back, other leg up. Doing that will help a ton. It's one of those things that if you're paddling and you're tired, you want to half-ass it because you don't want to spend as much energy. But if you do half-ass it, it ends up costing you so much more energy. So doing this little workout and flexibility work will make it take less effort. So you won't be trying to cheat it, right? So you'll be able to get under the wave more effectively, spend less energy doing it, get out past the break faster, and couldn't be more simple than that. It's, the basics are simple, but you got to do the fundamentals right, or it just falls apart. So that's it. So again, if you like these kind of free videos to help you surf better, catch more waves, all I ask, the best way for you to support what I'm doing is just to simply like and subscribe, and that's it. So yeah, cool. Talk to you soon.